Hello, and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm teacher Oakley, and for the next 4 days, actually, at this time slot here at verbling.com, we are going to be practicing, just straight up practicing IELTS speaking tests as they have been reported by recent test takers. This will give anybody who has an interest in taking the IELTS test, or really CAE is very closely associated, many of the same types of questions, whatever, FCE, TOEFL, what have you. Good practice for anybody who's lining up to take any of those exams. We're going to be looking at very recent tests. And the fact is, with IELTS specifically, they swap out old tests and give new ones with new topics, some recycled old topics about every few months, every 3 months or so. So if you can, if you're taking a test in the near future and you have a chance to look at some recent topics, the chances are real good that you're going to end up with one of those topics. The possibility is definitely there that you may get to practice some topics you will actually discuss in the exam. Anyway, we're going to be doing that for about 3 or 4 days here. Well, 4 days, actually, at this time slot. We'll take turns as you come into the classroom, we'll simply take turns. I'll ask the questions. I'll stay on the same topic or jump topics as would normally happen in an IELTS exam. And we'll just go around the room. I will give you feedback and talk to you about how your answer would affect your score. Okay, that's the process. So let me welcome y'all to the class. Mustafa, hello.
Hello, teacher. Howdy.
Welcome back. Okay, Yaroslav has joined us. Hello. Good to see you again.
Hi, Oakley. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Natasha is with us again today. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Oakley. Hi, guys. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Natasha, I got to ask you a question before we get to our IELTS questions.
Okay.
What is this a picture of in your Google avatar?
It's mountains. I mean, it's pics of mountains and a deep sky. I like it.
I like it too, but do you know where it is?
No. It's when I found this picture, she was impressed by it, and I decided to take it for my profile.
Okay, all right. It's a cool picture. I just wondered if you knew where it was. Okay, thanks. Mauro has also joined us. Hi, Mauro. Mauro, hello. Welcome to the class. Mauro, can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're having a problem with your settings or your microphone, but at this time I can't hear you, so try to fix that. Just give me a shout out if you get it fixed. Just, hi teacher, well, anytime, so I know that I can talk to you and interact with you. Because we're practicing IELTS, and IELTS is an interactive test in which you will have a live human being as an interviewer. So, right, that's part of the practice. You're stuck with me, you guys. Okay. All right. Here we go. Just very brief. I want to just do lots of practice. Very briefly, the test consists of 3 parts. The first part, the interview, just basic questions on topics you should be familiar with about your likes and dislikes, preferences, and some very basic topics about everyday life. Ooh, okay. Some sometimes unusual topics. Today, for example, I think I got something crazy in store for you. Second question. Second question is the long turn I prefer to think of it as a description question. It's a long description question. We're all going to do the same question today in the long term. Okay, so okay, do your best, and I'll give you feedback, and then discussion at the end. We'll take turns again, usually based on the long-term topic, but lately I'm afraid to say that not always. It used to always be based on question 2, but part 3 or question 3 is discussion. They call it discussion. Personally, I would think of it more as opinion, since the questions are all actually opinion-based questions, and you're required to state your opinion about what their question is about, and of course, give supporting reasons and details and examples to support your opinion. Okay, that's it. Let's do this. Any questions before we get started from anyone about anything? You have a question about the IELTS exam or anything before we get started? Anybody? Okay. Now, all right, then let's start. In the actual IELTS exam, they're going to ask you for your full name. They'll ask you for your ID. Give me your ID. Oh, thank you. All right, very good. They'll ask you, how shall I address you, or what should I call you? Tell them whatever you want them to call you. And then the beginning of part 1 always starts the same, like this. Mustafa. Mustafa, where are you from?
I'm from uh, I'm from Iraq. I live in southern of Iraq, in a city called Basra. Just no.
Okay. Really, the questions about what your name is, can I see your ID, or just obviously direct questions you can answer directly. After that, detail, 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 detail. You've really got to, okay, there are no penalties for talking too much, but there are severe penalties for talking too little in this exam. There's no timer except in part 2. Part 1, part 3, there's no timer. If you said enough that the interviewer is satisfied with the elements of English he's looking for, he'll say, okay, thank you, that's enough. And he'll move on.
But
However,
teacher, sorry, teacher. Because maybe you just asked me where are you from. Just you specified where are you from. You didn't tell me like tell me about your city. Tell me where about the place you live in. Something like
right,
that.
and neither will they in the real IELTS exam. They won't either. The first they may do that, but the chances are pretty darn good that they will not. However, this is where the rubber hits the road, as we say in English. This is where you're really being tested and scored, is when they start, and they always start with this first question. You know the test has started when they say, where are you from? You can say whatever you want, but you should add detail. Of course, say where you're from like you did, but add some detail, tell them something about it. Can be anything. Can be the geography, the population, the economic base of your city. It can be the weather.
Can I repeat
Anything.
my answer?
Yeah.
I yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah, I haven't understood it before. Yeah. I live in Iraq. I live in the southern of Iraq, in a city called Basra. Actually, it is a hot city. The weather is very hot in the summer. And about me, I live in a small town or a small district in Basra city. And the people in my town is really kind, and they are like they are closed about themselves, something like that. So there is not a lot of activity out there. It's calm city and quiet city. That's why I said teacher.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's the idea. All right. That's fundamentally the idea. The it's in the south of Iraq or it's in southern Iraq. It's not. You can't say it's the. It is the southern Iraq. It is in southern Iraq or it is in the south of Iraq. Okay. All right. Lots of detail, and that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. That's what IELTS is looking for. Plenty of detail. Be careful of your pacing. Number one, your delivery. Make sure that they can hear you. Don't, speak up. If they can't hear you, they record you, but if they can't hear you, they can't score you. So you can expect an absolutely terrible score. Speak in a loud enough voice so you can be heard. But secondly, Mustafa, as far as you're concerned, I would slow down my pace a little bit. Sometimes your words tend to run together, and it's not entirely clear. Okay. Now the advantage the IELTS has, they record it, so they can rewind it and listen, rewind it and listen, rewind it and listen. But of course, if they have to rewind it and listen 3 or 4 times to understand what you're saying, that's going to affect your score. There are no points for speaking quickly. In fact, you can only lose points if you speak way too slowly. You will lose points as well, but it has to be drastically slowly. A nice, even kind of calm pace is much better. You don't win anything by going faster, by saying more words. That's not really the point. Okay, so you gotta. So I pretty much got everything you're saying, but sometimes my brain couldn't keep up. Slow down a little would be
Okay.
my biggest advice for you. Okay, next question. Now they always ask, where are you from? They always ask this next question as well, and from then on throughout the rest of the test, you have no idea what they're going to say. Let me quickly welcome Mauro again. Mauro?
Yeah, I'm here, teacher.
There we go. All right, I can hear you now. Terrific. Okay. And Mohammed. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Very good. Hi. Welcome to the class.
Hi.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks. We're going to take turns through the part 1, and I'll get around to you gentlemen in a little bit, but we'll take turns, and I'll give you feedback as we go along. I want to go to Yaroslav now. Again, another question they always ask. Again, it seems like they will do this frequently throughout the test, ask you what seem to be closed-ended questions, or yes-no questions, or one-word answer questions. That's a trap. If you do that, you're going to lose a lot of points. That every question in the IELTS test, you need to add as much detail as you can to. Basic strategy. Okay, Yaroslav, do you work or do you study?
I've been studying English very hard since March, and now I'm not working because I'm preparing for my IELTS language, and I've moved to St. Petersburg for 2 weeks now, and I'm planning to get work here.
Okay. Okay. All right. I moved to St. Petersburg 4 weeks now. Okay. You can say I have been in present perfect tense. I have been in St. Petersburg for weeks now. That would go with your time phrase, for weeks now, present perfect tense. Or I or simple past, I moved to St. Petersburg 4 weeks ago. Okay?
Okay.
All right. But a word about those verb tenses. They're looking, okay, basics in IELTS, you've got to show that you can use, obviously, past, present, and future verb tenses. As well, not necessarily, obviously not every question, but during the course of the test, you have to also show that you can use a perfect tense and a continuous tense and a passive. Okay, you don't have to use every single verb tense. That's a little crazy, as there are 16 active and 16 passive verb tense, or 12, sorry, 12 active and 12 passive. You couldn't possibly do that anyway, but you do have to show that you can use a perfect. So if you see the opportunity to use a perfect, like a present perfect tense, jump all over it. All right, if it's really easy to use a passive, jump all over it, because you won't have that many opportunities. Yes, Moro.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Could you very quickly explain the present perfect continuous, please? I really didn't get it.
Okay. Present perfect is when you talk about something in the past that has a relationship to now, right? Do you understand that? Very often used for experience. I have never been skydiving, like that, or I have lived in St. Petersburg for 3 weeks. Present perfect continuous is when you want to show that that action continued up until now. So very simply, you could also say, I have been living in St. Petersburg for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. I have been working in the automobile industry for 5 years. I have been working. So a continuous action.
Understand. Okay.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, present perfect continuous, it's still continue, but I've seen it's not common. The common is present perfect only.
Yeah, as I said, you don't really have to worry about present perfect continuous per se. All right. They do definitely want to hear you use a perfect tense. That doesn't matter. Past perfect, present perfect, future perfect. And they want you to use a continuous tense. If it's a perfect continuous or just a past continuous or present continuous, just show that you can use some perfect tense, some continuous tense. It doesn't have to be a perfect continuous tense. You don't really need that. But definitely a continuous for sure. And, okay, going along with that, listen to the questions. They will actually form questions using these different verb tenses. That's one thing you kind of have to, in the back of your mind, be listening for. What is the verb tense of the question?
Yeah.
Right. To try to get you, they're trying to elicit that verb tense in your response.
I have to make mix tenses, you know, an
Yes,
example.
that's correct. As much as you can, mix tenses. A simple way to do that is to use examples from your own experience, because then you're going to be jumping, you're going to talk present tense. I really like reggae music, present tense. As a matter of fact, I have been to Jamaica 4 different times. This one time I was dancing on the beach when Bob Marley came out of the coconut trees. All right, past continuous. You see that? Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Present, past perfect, all
Yeah.
kinds of.
Well, if all my answer is past simple, it's kind of boring, and it's low level. See?
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That's it.
And I have
Exactly.
to make a mixture or mix
So,
tenses and mm,
okay,
all English, but an exam.
there's a supreme irony here. All right, there's a
Yeah,
paradox here in the
yeah, yeah.
IELTS test. They want you to speak naturally in your
Mm.
delivery. All right,
Mm-hmm,
they want you to sound like you're casual and relaxed,
mm-hmm. Posh.
natural, natural speaking. But on
Yeah.
the other hand, they want you to cram into that 13-minute test. That's
Mm.
13 minutes. They want you to cram in all the variety of English structure that you can.
Yeah.
Passives and relative clauses and conditional sentences and as much variety of vocabulary as you
Mm-hmm.
possibly can. So it's a paradox. They want you to sound natural, but they don't want you to actually speak naturally,
Ah.
if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm.
Um,
But
so,
in IELTS exam, we have to say, we have to talk in synonyms, not in, not in normal vocabulary, or,
mhm.
because the examiner will see your level vocabulary, or if the people, our student, have many knowledge, or, as you know,
Mhm.
see?
So, right, you want to use a lot of synonyms so you can use a variety of words.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we'll even talk more about that in a little
Mm.
bit. Okay, I want to continue so we get through some look at different types of questions. By the way, when I do one-on-one classes, when I do training for the IELTS exam, I basically, my strategy to train people is to do question types, not topics. There's just too many topics.
Mm-hmm.
But the types of questions are kind of limited. I'm going to move on. I'll get back to you, Mohammed, in a bit. It's
All right.
Natasha's turn. Natasha, now we jump to a new topic. They may, after do you work or do you study, they may stay with that topic for one or two questions. They often do. Or they may jump. Okay, Natasha. Sometimes they signal that jump, sometimes they don't. I'd like to change the topic a little bit. Natasha, are there a lot of trees where you live?
It's an interesting question. Wow, I think that there are a lot of trees because I live in suburb of Minsk, and there are oh, sorry, there are forests nearby the river, and it is a very um, beautiful place where we can go for a walk and have a lot of rest. So yes, I agree. There are a lot of trees.
Okay. Okay. Now, all right. Small thing, pronunciation, suburbs. You live in the
Mm,
suburbs of Minsk.
suburbs. Hmm.
Okay, great. Okay. Are there a lot of trees where you live? Realistically, that is a yes or no question. Yes, there are. No, they're not. There are not. Um, but okay, Natasha did exactly what you're supposed to do. You give a lot of detail, so you explain a lot. Also, I heard forest. This is a topic related. The topic is trees. I heard the word
Okay.
forest. I heard beautiful place. Okay, that's somewhat topic related. Co-locations, words that go together. Again, related to the topic. These are points for you. You're scoring points in vocabulary. Okay. All
Okay.
right. All right. Uh, Very good. But of course, you don't have to say, I agree that there are a lot of trees where I live, because I didn't say that. I asked you, are there trees where you live? So yes, I would have to say there are a lot of trees, not that you agree.
Okay.
And since we have this question, and I want a very valuable strategy, because they will ask these closed-ended questions that seem like a one-word answer. A strategy, and there's variations on this, but a strategy to more or less force the issue. force yourself to talk more is to say, well, it depends. All right. On the south side of Minsk, there's an enormous forest, so of course there's a ridiculous multitude of trees. It's the forest stretches on and on over the mountains, and of course it's completely enormous. However, to the north of town, there are rolling plains and farmlands, and the trees basically come in the little copses and more like hedgerows to separate properties.
I
Okay,
see.
so you say it
Thank you.
depends, and then you have to separate it into two different things automatically. It depends. It depends how much money I have. It depends how much time I have. It depends on the place, north or south. It depends if it's men or women we're talking about. See what I'm doing?
Okay.
I'm thinking of ways to break questions into two parts. To
Okay,
give my,
I see.
my
Thank
yeah,
you.
not just this is not just directed to Natasha. This is for everyone. Being able to break a question into two parts to give yourself twice as much to talk about. Very valuable strategy, valuable skill for this test, for this exam. Okay, here's a classic question. Moro,
Yeah.
do you like trees and forests?
Yes, I do, because I think trees and forests give the life for the mankind. In fact, I disagree with the cut down of the of forest like in Brazil. So, in my opinion, trees are a big resource for humanity. It's we could use it for we could use it to improve our to develop our life and
Okay.
to make it better.
Okay. All right. All right. Speaking of length, we're getting good at that. Okay. All right. Now look, like questions, count on it. You're going to get like questions. They may or may not counter that or follow that up, rather, with a dislike question. Maybe, maybe not. But you most certainly will have a like question or a couple like questions. Do you like whatever? Good idea to cultivate some vocabulary, some verbs. I like, I'm keen on, I quite enjoy, I totally adore, I'm really into.
Okay.
Okay, and dislike verbs. I can't stand, I hate, I abhor. It drives me nuts when. Notice I'm using idiomatic language, even slang, informal language. That's okay, better than okay. That's great. Actually, in order to get a top score, either band 8, 7.5, 8, 9, you have to use some idiomatic language or phrasal verbs or uncommon language. You have
Phrasal verbs
to get a top score.
phrasal verbs like some example.
Okay. Uh, like, for example, I really don't like that we have to put up with people cutting down all the trees in the forests. Um, I, I'm I really get into hiking in the forest and camping. Get into, put up with
Thank you.
those kinds of words. Okay, couple get down. Yeah, Mustafa, get down with your bad self. Get out. All right. Okay. Life. Okay, life. Okay, very important. Life, the mankind. Life to mankind. I don't quite understand my own notes there. Sorry. I disagree the cut. Mara, I'm talking to you. I disagree the cut down. I disagree with cutting down. Okay.
Okay.
Couple problems there. Disagree with. You have to understand collocations are really important. Prepositions that follow verbs. And also then you have with. I disagree with cutting down. I disagree with jogging. Whatever. It's followed by a gerund. So understanding when to use gerunds and infinitives. That's another thing they're looking for. One more thing, Morrow, with your delivery, too much okay, too much filler. We all do it, and a little bit is perfectly acceptable, and you wouldn't even lose points for it because it's okay to have a little bit of filler. However, look, I just did it. However, if you have too much, you're going to lose points. One possible technique is to, if you feel like you're going to do an instead breathe in. Force yourself to breathe in. It's impossible to articulate an or an if you're actually breathing in. Instead, breathe in a little. There'll be a slight pause in what you're saying, but a slight pause like that that's okay and acceptable.
Teacher,
It gets
One
better.
technique.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
I,
Mohammed.
I have a question. When we can use gerund, because I'm confused about that.
Aren't we all? Me too.
Really?
Well, the problem. I'm not confused because I'm a native speaker. I'm used to it. But the horrible problem. I'm sorry to tell you, is that you have to learn the main verb. You just have to learn each main verb one at a time. Is it followed by a gerund? Is it followed by an infinitive? Or can it be followed by either?
That mean no rules about this gerund?
Sorry?
That mean no rule about gerund?
Yeah, there aren't any rules. And that's the rule I'm telling you. That's the sad truth.
But I've seen before understanding. I don't know. I think it doesn't make sense.
Well, there's some generalities to help you, but there's no hard and fast grammar rule. It doesn't exist. I wish there was, because I struggle teaching this topic. To tell you the truth, it's a real pain in my neck.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very difficult to teach because, okay. I like to swim. I like swimming. I enjoy swimming. I enjoy to swim. No, I can say like with either. I enjoy swimming is okay, but I enjoy to swim. No. It's tough. Yeah. Sorry for that bad news. Yeah, okay. Anyway, your next question. Okay. Okay. Mohammed, have you ever planted a tree?
No, I haven't. Planted it? I didn't catch this question. Not quite.
Okay. Have you ever planted a tree?
No, I haven't. Well, I hope to plant a tree because this make for nature and make beauty and can help the environment to try distract environment to decrease the number of pollution, as we know.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. First of all, listen carefully to the question, have you ever planted a tree? Well, that question is in the present perfect tense. I'm trying to affords you the opportunity. And you said, no, I haven't.
Mm.
Okay.
But
No, I have
why?
not.
You know?
Maybe that's okay, actually. No, I haven't. Um, but it would be much better to say something like, unfortunately, I have never had the opportunity to plant a tree.
Uh,
It's it's okay. Well, it's weird, but it's not weird, Mustafa, because he's using something called ellipsis. He's dropping the subject noun because it was already spoken in the conversation. So in reality, ellipsis, dropping syllables or dropping words, as we normally do when we speak
mm.
English, is actually a good thing in the IELTS test. So that was a little bad and good at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Too short an answer. You should have had a more elaborate sentence. But on the other hand, you did use one of the elements they do look for, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you said make for nature. I didn't understand that, frankly.
Whoa. Make a beauty and the trees can help environment to decrease number of pollution.
Okay. Right. Okay. It can help to create a natural area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A natural area. I like to go to natural areas. Not. I like to go to nature. Or
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah.
you can't create a nature.
Mm-hmm.
No. Um, actually, this is a very common topic in IELTS, so actually it's worth discussing for a second. It is really common to talk about pollution, environment, global warming, whatever. Okay, natural areas, trees. That's our
Mm-hmm.
subject right now. All right. I really enjoy natural areas. I like to go to beautiful, wild areas,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Okay, but co-located with areas. Very commonly, people say, "I like to go to nature. I enjoy nature."
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds weird in
Mm-hmm.
English. Also, you can't decrease the number of pollution. Why? Because pollution is uncountable. So I can't have 3 pollutions.
Ah, yeah.
So it's actually impossible for me to decrease the number of pollution. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't decrease or increase the number of an uncountable thing.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, see the logic there?
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right. You can decrease the number of cats,
Ah, yeah.
yeah, but you can't decrease the number of milk in the refrigerator.
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
how can I say that?
You can reduce the amount of.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that would work. You can reduce the amount of milk in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that would work. Okay. Okay. All right. Onward we go. All right. Now let's get to the next exciting part here. We're gonna try exciting part 2 question. Woohoo. Okay, Mustafa, are you ready for it? Y'all ready for this?
Let us roll the ball.
Okay. Now, normally, it works like this. You're given a cue card or a piece of paper or something, and it has the actual question on it. All right, and they give you a minute to think about it, and then you need to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Now, when they tell you speak for 1 to 2 minutes, that's another trick. Really, if you speak for only 1 minute, you're going to lose points. If you speak for 2 minutes and they stop you, then you're able to get maximum number of points. Okay, so in other words,
So the
question 2:
so they
always
should stop.
talk.
They
Yes,
should stop me. Okay.
always talk until they stop you. Don't try to
Okay.
time it. Just keep talking until they stop you. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, so here's your question. Talk about a special thing that you would like to buy in the future. Okay. Please say What is it? What does it look like? And how long will you keep it? While you're thinking, I would like to add a little bit for everyone. Always because you have a minute to make notes, they will actually give you a pencil and paper to make notes. Obviously, you need to think about what you're going to say. Well, duh. But also, take a look at the verb tense of the questions. What is it? Present tense. What does it look like? Present tense again. How long will you keep it? Future. Okay. You would like to buy. Okay. All right. So in other words, they want you to use present tense. They want you to use future tense. They want you to use future hypotheticals like modals. Might, would. Okay. That's what they want you to do with verb tenses. At least. Now, if you want to use other verb tenses, yeah, fine. But what they're really almost demanding that you do is do this. Okay, so they're really concerned with present and future tenses and a liberal dose of modals or adverbs that discuss possibility, probability. Now, probably, might, may. Okay, that's basically what they're looking for. Mustafa, you ready to give it a try?
I just want to ask you a question.
Sure.
The teacher, when they like asked me about special things like that, I have to focus on just one thing, or I'll have to I can give them like a special variety or kind of variety thing.
That is a very good question. Okay, that's a very good question. Sometimes people think, okay, that's a very good question. You should talk about one thing. Because if you don't, if you talk about two things, they think that you don't know what A means. A or N means one thing. Okay? So definitely you should talk about one thing. There will be questions back in part one. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned this. What kinds of music do you like, for example? In which case, you better be talking about at least two kinds, plural, of music. You have to be very careful of that. When they say a thing, they mean one thing. When they say kinds of things, they mean two or more. Okay? So that's a very good question. By the way, if you have a question like that on the actual IELTS test, ask the interviewer. If you are not sure, ask the interviewer. There are no points off for asking a question to clarify what they want from you. No deductions. Not at all. And frankly, you'll be a lot more confident knowing that you're following the directions properly. So it can't hurt to ask. It can only help you. Okay? Mustafa?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I will start right now. I would like to buy. Yeah. I would like to buy a new house. In the future. And on one hand, because uh, because I think our house is kind of. Oh no, sorry. I would like to buy a new house in the future. I think I always think to buy a large house because our currently house is kind of small and not big size. So, but I put off the idea of buying a new house because I cannot like put up with a lot of debt right now. But I think it's a good idea for the future to buy a new house for me and my family. And I think it's a great idea to be a large size with a lot of rooms. And I will keep it. Uh, I will keep it for my family and my grandchildren after I did. So I prefer my house to have like a kind of garden or and a kind of garage to keep my car in, and I think it's good to be with
Okay.
a good shape. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Okay. So you can, when we're doing this question, you can look at your notes, or you also can look at this the whole time you're speaking as well. Use this as a guide and your notes. Okay. Let me give you a pretty much foolproof for question number 2. Answer. I would like to tell you about, or I would like to talk about. I would like to tell you about, in this case, I would like to tell you about something which is very important for me to buy in the future. Maybe like that. Anyway, not that what you said was bad. Doesn't matter what you say really, but you should give, the point being, you should give a clear topic sentence. All right, before you get into explaining anything, just a nice clear topic sentence. You felt nervous. Okay, well you did okay. Um, your pacing was much better, Mustafa, by the way. Much clearer delivery.
I try to
Uh,
use some phrasal verb. I don't know if I use them
yeah, I know you.
correctly or not. Yeah.
I know you did. I could tell. I was going to say that. I know you were trying to use phrasal verb. Okay, I think to buy. Okay, I think about buying. I have often. Okay. Would he? It would even be better to use I have thought about buying, using a present perfect tense to show in the past and even up to now you've been considering this. All right, would be a much better thing to do here. Okay. Right now, I know you tried phrasal verbs. Right now, I can't put up a lot of debt. Okay. You don't put up a lot of debt. You pick up a lot of debt. I can't pick up a lot of debt now, or I can't go into debt. Either way would be better ways to say it. But okay. Basically, what I did hear that was good, I did hear modals. I did hear a little future tense. I did hear some present tense. So he managed to get the verb tenses in there. Just overstretching a little bit on the phrasal verbs, I think, Mustafa. But okay. Yaroslav, you want to try the same thing? As I said, let everybody try this. Hey.
Okay, I will try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk about some special things that I would like to buy in near future. Actually, I would like to buy a car. I'm going to spend some money on it in the end of the summer. Now, I have been riding at my current car since 2010, and I really like it, but I want to change my old car. So I would like to buy a red Mazda 6, and I'm going to have a tour to Europe on my car. I think it might be really a good and enjoyable trip to the Europe. Um, I'm hoping that I could see really beautiful countries. For example, in St. Petersburg here, Finland, Sweden. So I'm going to visit these countries. I'm hoping that the Mazda 6 will be a good car, and I will keep it until it starting to broke. And actually, my father has have has a old Mazda 6, and he told me that it is
Okay.
really hoping to buy this.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. You keep going for 2 minutes. That's great. Okay, got a clear topic sentence. All right. Some small points. All right. Some. I want to tell you about some special thing I want to buy. It's got to be a special thing. You can't say some special thing. Some has to be plural. Some cats in my yard, not some special cat. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Some goes with plural. All right. I have been riding at my car for however much time. Okay. Really, it should be I have been driving my car. Really, we don't say if you're the owner, then you drive your car. You don't ride your car. You ride a bicycle or you ride
Okay.
a motorcycle. All right, you drive, and you're not riding at. You're riding in your car. But anyway, either way, it should be driving. You're going to have a tour. It should be take a tour. You take
Okay.
a tour. You take a trip. Okay. All right. Well, you can have a trip too, but usually with tour we just use take a tour. And you're gonna have it until it's starting to broke. Well, until it starts to break. Break to break.
Break,
Always,
yes.
yes, always infinitive. It's like the present tense of the verb. Okay. All right. So okay. So there's minor problems there, but you kept it flowing. All right. You talked about all these aspects. Another point I need to make about this question number 2 stuff. Not in this case. This is not a very good example, but frequently the third bullet point or the last bullet point will often be about something a bit more abstract, like how do you feel about it or something like that. It's often the most important or would highlight the most variety of English. So it's very common for them to have the first 1 or 2 bullet points be very simple things, and then the last bullet point with some more abstract idea. Would you recommend it in the future? Maybe something that would cause you to use a conditional sentence or abstract adjectives and adverb and adjective combinations. Something. There's usually something about it that's a little bit higher end, more difficult, advanced English, frequently. Well, in this case, a little bit. I mean, we get a future tense here. Okay. Anyway, pretty good job overall. All right. Kind of averagey, really. Not the greatest, but not the worst.
Okay, thank you for your tips.
Sure. Okay, Natasha, you want to give it a try?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I would like to buy a new car for me because I have had this dream a lot of time, I mean. But unfortunately, I haven't my own car because we have only our family machine car, I mean. I don't know. I can't say that I have something special demand to this car because for me it's more important that it have to be right work without something problems, and maybe it has to be beautiful, maybe blue or maybe orange color. I like this color. My husband said that car has to be have to be not a long time. Maybe it's can be only 2 or 3 years. But I don't know. In our situation, maybe my car, if I will be more careful to her, I can to drive more time. For example, for 5 or even 7 years, I will try to do it. I think that it's very important for me have such a car, or I mean own car, because I'm very busy and sometimes I have to go a long distance, and I'm absent for a long time. So our family haven't be without a car because we are living out of town, and our children go to school and kindergarten in town, and my husband, like me, have our work in town too. So I really like to dream about it, and I hope that we have to do that. We have buy it the nearest time.
Okay.
Um, I, uh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Breathe. Breathe, Natasha. Breathe. Breathe. Are you gonna? You're gonna pass out. Okay. I want. I thought you were never gonna end there. Okay. All right. Okay. Slow down. Your pacing is a little. You did a great job, but you're. And I like the fact that you're using intonation and getting excited a little bit and showing that in your voice. That's going to help your score in IELTS. Show a little emotion. If you talk like a robot, it's most certainly going to affect your score. Obviously, Natasha does not talk like a robot. Okay. Okay. I buy. Okay. I want to buy the car for me. Actually, if you use the subject noun is I, then the object noun will have to be myself. I want to buy a car for myself. Okay.
I
Or they're
see.
reflexive. Okay. Okay. All right. Has something problem? Some problem, not something problem.
Yes.
Some problem. Uh, it can what? Can or can't? I don't know. Have to be. Oh, can have to be not a long time. Well, that's a little confusing.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be for a long time. It doesn't have to be for a long time. Would be the correct way
Mhm. I
to say
like
that.
it. Thank
Okay. Can to drive. Don't ever put an infinitive after a modal. Might, would, could. All right.
you.
Could to drive. Might to drive. You just can't. Should to drive. You can't put an infinitive after a modal with to. You can't put to after a modal. Can is a modal. You
Yes. Yes.
never do that.
I know.
All right. I will try do it. We'll try to do it. Here
I
after
see.
try, you do need an infinitive with to.
Mhm.
Okay. And I want to have own car. You still need to say, even though it's own, obviously it's yours. You still need to use the possessive pronoun. Have my own car. Okay. So a little problems there. Okay, but not horrible. The main thing is you are getting a lot of detail there, and you are speaking a lot, which is great. Yeah, we are out of time. In fact, we're over time. But thank you, guys. Hopefully, you can come back tomorrow, same time. We'll do it again. We'll do more, much more. Thanks a lot.